So, we're updating on the Timberjack again. As you can see, it actually sort of looks like a skidder now, which is cool. Still needs a front axle, but that's one of the next things to do. So, went through and filled the fuel filter up and started priming it. This banjo bolt is leaking though. It's the bleeder on top. So I'm gonna get a new one of those. I got to bleed out a couple of these, but it's bleeding out of here bad enough that I haven't been able to get fuel on the injectors themselves. But we're close on that. I know the lines back to the tank are primed, so that's good. I showed these hoses last time are all done. I got a cap on it because I put some fluid in the tank trying to clean up. I was like, I'll dump a couple buckets of oil in. I thought it was a bigger tank. 6-7 gallons in, it started coming out. So I stuck a cap on there and I got the fitting. I got everything measured to do the return hoses. And in the first part today, I built this. So this is a little frame. I need to get some expanded metal mesh to put over it. But it's got the transmission cooler mounted in here and then the hydraulic return filter up here. And I got the fittings stuffed on it. And this is gonna be a little funky. This goes over and down into here. I haven't crimped them yet, but I have the hoses all cut to length for the cooler. And it's got its own fan. I will have to hook up that. I have some of these pigtails at the house, so I'll grab a couple of those. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to hook this onto a switch or whether there is a thermostat port up here and here. Maybe I'll see if I can automate it. I do have a gauge on the dash, so if I pay attention I could flip it on with just a switch. But I'm not worried about the fan for the first start. That's more of when it's really running. I do think I need a new master cylinder because I fiddled with it and I have not gotten any better results. I do still need to hook up, there's a plug on the back of the valve body here. We'll make a hose and hook up the gauge. I'll either use some air brake line because it maxes out at 250 and really I don't think I'm going to get there. The green is 140 to 175 and that's well within the range of that stuff. So I'll put a hose on that and then that should be ready to start. I have the air filter is sort of sitting in there. I was playing with positioning on stuff. I need to move the rings. They'll probably go up a hair and one has to come this way and the other go that way to get it in there right. And I still need to find a top hat. So I'll go over to the junkyard and see if I can get, something like that for here and make that work. Seat's sitting in there looking good, of course. And then back at the winch, I disconnected the hoses to it to make sure I had the right fittings. It's been really hard to get fittings lately, so my stock is pretty low. I can generally go get what I need, but I don't have enough to restock my bins. I was playing with the drive shaft here, and I was trying to turn it, and you can hear it turning in the transmission, but it kind of locks up. I'm wondering if the clutches are all seized together. So I think for the first start, I need to replace this U-joint too. I missed that earlier. See, it's a little loose. I'm going to disconnect the drive shaft right here. And that way the winch will not be jamming up the PTO shaft or anything. And since I need to get to that pumpkin down below there, I need to take the winch out anyway. And I wanted to take that out and then pull the fuel tank as well. Because the outside's rusty, the inside looks pretty good. I figured I'd pull the fuel tank out and I don't know if I'll sandblast it, but I'll coat the whole thing up and then the straps aren't hooked up, so I'll be able to actually strap it down and do that right. But while the winch is out, I'll take the guard off and maybe I'll repack the cylinder here, open this end up, look at the gears, see how they are. You can't see too well from the end, but see if there's anything really bad going on. And then on the other side, I'm gonna walk around there. Now, while we're behind here, I stuck a pipe wrench on and I got this roller to spin. It's not great. That one spins fine. This one I want to spin. It actually broke the roll pin. It's that seized. So I need to do bearings in those. I'll probably put that in the press, and you can see it's got some cracks and it's funky. It's missing a bolt, and I'll have to come off and go through it. But that's going to be a once it's driving type thing. Anyway, on this side, I'm going to take the guard off, and I'll probably repack the cylinder. And in the end here, there's some seals that we'll get into when we take it off. That activate the clutches, and there's a whole set of clutches back here, and there's a brake band around it under the guard. So we'll see how that all is, and with my luck it'll be annihilated, and I'll have to get some fresh stuff in there. And then, remember I said the cable was bad? That's what I meant. Doesn't that look like a nice cable? There's a few, half cable size frays, and look at that rat's nest down there. It's bad. So I'll put a new cable on there too. And let's see, over here, I also have this coolant tank, which is gonna go around here, I think. It's out of a 7.3 Ford. It still has the metal bracket with it, so I'll be able to modify that and be able to weld that up, make that good. That's coming forward here, and then there's the coolant line here. That's going to get a petcocked so I can bleed the air out of the head. I don't know if I really need it. You do on some of the Caterpillar stuff, like the old 3204s, but why not? It's easy to put in there. And then from this one, this is the highest point in my system. This is going to go to that coolant tank. Just a little insurance. I mean, I probably could bleed the air out, but if I ever lost some coolant somewhere, I could end up with a dry head, and could be catastrophic. I was mocking up exhaust a little bit. So I got the muffler up there, and you can see this comes down, and it sort of misses. I think what I'm gonna do, I'll obviously turn that elbow up. I think I'm gonna put a pipe straight, and then I'm probably gonna use some flex. Go around the corner, or I do have a 90 as well I could weld in, maybe just go right over. And then I need to get some exhaust hangers. I'll see what I can find, because I'd like to have that soft mounted to the roof, because if you've ever been in a Timberjack with a spark arrestor up there, this thing rattles like you're in a barrel with someone grinding on the outside of it, and it's awful. If I can soft mount the muffler, and I'll have to put a guard over it so the branches don't rip it off. If I can give it a soft mount, maybe, just maybe, it'll be a little bit quieter in there, which I like. I like quiet. I make a lot of noise, but I like it when it's quiet. So, that's what I've been up to. I'm gonna be back down here. That was a couple days I messed with this. But I will be working on this a whole bunch this week. So the goal is tomorrow. We'll see if I get that posted the same day after. I mean, right now it's almost 10 o'clock, and it gets pretty late working on here. So I don't know if this will probably be posted tomorrow, but the next work day, so tomorrow I'd like to come down, put the axle in, get the engine started, get the coolant hooked up, get the hydraulic hoses finished, and obviously finish the hydraulic hose and the coolant before starting it. And then the axle will probably go after starting, just because right now it's super easy to get to everything without the wheels there. But once it's running with the hydraulic system complete, I should be able to turn it. I'm probably not going to hook the winch up to start. I'll probably just throw a couple of plugs on that valve section until I go through the winch. But it should give me steering, it should give me blade function, and it should be able to drive around. So once it's driving, I guess then I'll be trying to get into the winch and the rear pumpkin and get that fuel tank fixed. And while that's out, I'll check for cracks and probably weld anything I can find in the back end. I'm gonna do a little bit of plating where it's been cracked here. I figure I'll wrap some strapping around that. And once that's all back together, I'll be functional. I guess the fairlead needs to come off too. I'll be functional, but I still need to create some more guards. This side's gonna need a guard panel, the air needs to go from here to there. I'll have to figure that out and guard that. I need side panels, I need the corners for the hood. I have the top section of the hood. I'm gonna have to put maybe a 1 or a 2 inch spacer to lift it up to get it over all the tubes. Not too bad. I still need to add expanded metal mesh to the other side. I'll obviously do that here, probably along the engine as well, just to get some good airflow. And the muffler, so there'll be a bunch of details. We'll still have to get that seat figured out. I'm gonna try a couple different seats. The original seat looked pretty much like it was a cushion and a cushion on the back, and they had some soft armrests covering these toolboxes. I have a boat seat. I might bring that out next time. It's just a super basic, you know, back and bottom, and see if I can see over all this junk when I sit in it. I don't have enough headroom. My head, I don't think I'd fit in there with a helmet on. So there'll be some tinkering. That might not be the final seat. I might be able to get it to lower down a little bit if I play with the adjustments. I haven't really messed with it yet, but I'll be messing with all this stuff, and I will keep you along for the ride. So hope you enjoy this. Subscribe, like it, let me know what you want to see. I know some of you will tell me what I'm doing wrong, because that always happens. Hopefully I'm not doing too much wrong. And with any luck, another week or two, and I'll have some videos of this baby pulling logs. Because that's why I have it. I want to pull logs. I'll show you how to put chains on it too. I've got chains for it. But hope you like it, and let me know what you think. Night.